Hello and welcome back to the Sideboard here at Grand Prix Miami. My name is Reuben Bresler and I am joined by magic artist extraordinaire Greg Staples.
Hello.
Greg.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. This is your first Magic the Gathering event in the United States.
It is.
Yeah, we're very excited to have you, and it's just a thrill to have you here. And I guess the main question would be, why so long? Why did it take so long for you to make it across the pond?
Because I think America is quite a special place to me. I absolutely love America, and obviously it's the home of Magic. You know, there's a lot of history there, and I honestly think that I wanted to wait for an event that really felt right. You know. Okay. I also think that when it comes to certain events, I like to feel that there's something else that's just going to give me, and this is Miami.
Absolutely, you know? Yeah. The first ever Grand Prix in Miami.
Absolutely.
is a great event to have the first ever trip for an artist such as yourself. And you've got so many pieces in Magic. Yeah. You've must have over 200, close to?
I think you're possibly over that now.
Jeez,
somebody was telling me today. I've never counted.
It's a spectacular collection. You have a lot of some of the most iconic pieces in Magic history. Right. What was the first piece that was brought to you for Magic the Gathering?
The very first piece that I can remember actually painting, I don't know whether this is the first one released, but I'm pretty sure, was Goblin Raider.
Jeez.
A long time ago.
Long time ago, yeah.
And I learnt my lesson straight away, the style of Magic, immediately, because the first sketch that I handed in got rejected. Mm-hmm. Because I come from a comic book background, and everything was and I made him super muscly, mm-hmm. and then I kind of realised, okay, I need to get into the mindset of Magic.
Right.
Even in those days, I started to realise that although style guides now are much more stringent, back then I actually realised, okay, I'm gonna get this right. I'm gonna really get into the mindset of Magic. Absolutely. So I did it from the very first piece.
Now you were talking about how you started in comics.
Yep.
And so that's a much different background than a lot of Magic artists come from. Typically, they come from either directly from art school in fantasy. Yeah. Or from other fantasy backgrounds. Right. Comic books are a much different animal. Do you think that do you know of other comic artists that are in Magic?
I certainly do. I mean, the thing is, it's British comics though. British comics are extremely different from American comics. There's a slight grittiness to them. Every artist has a very individual style, and are given free rein to explore, themselves as an artist, and to be able to bring that forward. So we don't necessarily go to a certain formulaic style like there's a possible sort of style that runs through a lot of American comics. So I think from that I was able to just bring my own personality to it. And the person that got me into this was an artist called Dermot Power, and he was I worked with him at the British Comic 2000 AD. We both drew Just Dredd, and we were both not only fans of each other, but friends as well. And he's now gone on to, he designed all the Harry Potter films, and various Star Wars and all that kind of stuff. And also Kev Walker. We also worked at the same comic.
Nice.
So we've brought our individual styles, and although Dermot's gone on to other things, Kev's
still one of the big names in the
absolutely
game.
Absolutely, one amazing artist. Yeah, good friend of mine. Known him for longer than Magic. So and we brought a different approach to Magic, and I think that's possibly something that may be the reason why I've been able to stay here as long as I can.
Sure, you've had great success, and people are pretty much immediately able to identify a Greg Staples piece.
That's the nice thing.
I've always sort of seen your art as less fantasy art, of course, since you don't have as much of a fantasy background as some people who specifically started in Dungeons and Dragons or things like that, and more of a sort of traditional romantic artist, especially with the flowing linens of many of your angels.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, you have a lithograph series of four of your most popular angels, including Baneslayer Angel, Imperial Archangel, Sarah Angel, and I forget the last one.
I forget the name of the oh my god.
Man, but you have four of them.
Yeah.
They are all available on Star City Games. You also have we also have the lithographs available here at Grand Prix Miami. You're well known for your angels. They're very powerful female figures. Is there something specifically about angels that you're drawn to?
I think it's not necessarily the angels. I like I've got a lot of respect for women. I've got a lot of respect for their strength, and I think they're absolutely amazing. And it's almost like it's a gift to be able to bring something like one of these angels to life, and to really give an empowered feel to a woman without, because you see a lot of fantasy art, which is very busty. They're showing everything, and I want to show that you can have a sexy woman without having to show every single bit.
Sure.
Having said that, I have had to be tamed a few times because,
of course,
I'm European, but at the end of the day,
why not? Sure.
But at the end of the day, it's all done with the greatest of respect, and I absolutely love doing those things.
Absolutely, yeah. And so I'm sure you've been nothing but busy so far this weekend with all the people coming up to you, having you sign things, and do various. Do you do little alterations on your cards?
I do if I have the time. It's not something that I particularly am the biggest fan of.
Have you had any weird requests of like, I want you to put something on something?
You know what? Here it's been absolutely fine. In Europe, sometimes I get the strangest requests.
Sure.
And I don't know why. I don't know whether it's a country specific or whatever. But I've had various funny things to have to do.
We're weird here too. I think that they're just trying to be nice to you on your first trip over here.
You know what? I'm very weird, so
there you go.
I really don't mind. Whatever floats somebody's boat.
Absolutely. And so you have. Let's talk. We've talked a little bit about your past. Let's talk about what's coming up soon.
Okay.
I assume you don't have any other trips to the United States for Magic events coming up.
No, I very rarely do signings these days.
Sure.
I do some in Europe, Italy in particular, because I have a particular fondness for Italy, and it's not far from from where I am. But my schedule at home is extremely busy at the moment, so I'm somebody who likes to work hard and play hard.
Sure.
And I work very hard when I'm doing it, and when I have my free time, I like to spend it with my family and my friends.
Sure.
And so yeah, and that's good, because somebody said to me today, why do you think that it's good to have so much free time as well? And I say, because you bring your life into your art. It makes it more real.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what I think brings it.
And so speaking of your art, I assume that you have many more pieces coming out in future Magic sets, such as M14, Theros, and going forward.
Well, you know what? I cannot say anything.
Fair enough.
I'm extremely tight-lipped about whenever it comes to anything at all.
Fair enough.
I like to respect Magic.
We'll stay far away from Magic. What other areas are you working on? Other projects outside of Magic?
I'm doing a graphic novel, which is Just Dread graphic novel, one that I've been trying to get going for about 4 years now. I just designed did concept design and illustration for World War Z.
Oh, excellent!
So I helped design Brad Pitt's clothes for that. That was specifically my job for that film.
Nice.
I did the posters for Dread. I'm also doing covers for Dread versus Mars Attacks for IDW. I've got a lot of things going.
Excellent. So,
as well as Magic and Warcraft.
Sure.
So,
if people want to catch up on all things Greg Staples, where should they go?
They should go to my Facebook site, because I rarely update my website, because I tend to get a little bit bogged down by things, and
Now it's facebook.com/Greg Staples. Greg.
I imagine so. Just look for me and just
look. We'll have the URL. Should be on the screen right now for you folks to be able to look up, and we'll have all the links to that various stuff that we've talked about beneath the video here. Greg, it was great talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us, Greg Staples.
Thank you for
I
having
am
me.
Reuben Bresler, and we'll be back here at Grand Prix Miami.